Have you ever just stopped and really thought about time? I don't mean having enough time or being on time. I mean, what is it? We live our entire lives by its rules, but the closer scientists look, the more it seems like this incredible, elaborate illusion. So today, we're going to pull back that curtain on what might just be the universe's greatest trick. So get this. According to physicist Sean Carroll, the word time is the single most used noun in English. It's everywhere. It organizes our days, our memories, our entire lives. We talk about the past and the future like they're actual places we can go. But really, we're stuck in this tiny, fleeting moment called now. And that brings up a massive question. If time is so critical to how we live, why do the fundamental laws of physics seem to not care about it at all? And right here, this is the central mystery, the real head-scratcher. The basic laws of physics, everything from Newton to Einstein, they're completely indifferent to the direction of time. The equations work just as perfectly backwards as they do forwards. But our reality? No way. It is a one-way street. We remember yesterday, we don't remember tomorrow. You can drop an egg, but you can't undrop it. There's this huge gap between how the universe works and how we experience it. So, where does our arrow of time actually come from? Well, it turns out the answer isn't hidden in the tiny interactions of individual particles. To find it, we have to zoom way out and look at the universe as a whole. We have to talk about the universe's arrow. The secret ingredient here is a concept called entropy. Now, entropy is really just a fancy word for disorder or randomness. And one of the most bedrock rules of the cosmos, the second law of thermodynamics, says that in a closed system, like our universe, entropy always increases. Put simply, things start out neat and get messy, always. Let's make this super simple. Think about a bottle of perfume. When it's closed, all those molecules are packed together in a tidy, ordered, low-entropy state. But the second you open it, what happens? They spread out, they fill the room, moving into a random, disordered, high-entropy state. You are never, ever going to see those molecules just decide to go back into the bottle on their own. Why? Because there are just infinitely more ways for them to be messy than for them to be neat. So here's the big punchline. The reason we experience time moving forward is because we live in a universe that started in a very special, very neat, low-entropy state, the Big Bang, and it has been getting messier ever since. This one-way trip from order to disorder, that's what gives time its direction. It's why we age, why we remember the past, and it's what allows for all the complex, amazing stuff like you and me to even exist at all. Okay, so that's the cosmic story. That explains the universe's arrow, but it doesn't explain our own personal, second-by-second feeling of time ticking by. For that, we have to look away from the stars and turn the cameras deep inside our own heads. Turns out, you've got this unbelievably complex clock ticking away inside your skull right now. But it's not made of gears and batteries. Oh no, it's made of neurons. And the craziest part is, it has to learn how to tell time. Now, I know this looks complicated, but the core idea behind this model is actually pretty elegant. Deep in your brain's cortex, you have groups of neurons that are basically firing at different speeds. Think of them like a whole collection of metronomes, all ticking away at their own unique tempo. The signals they produce are then picked up by another part of the brain that learns to recognize the unique pattern they make at any given moment. That pattern, that's how your brain actually codes for a specific amount of time. Let's try an analogy. Imagine your brain is a conductor, and at the start of an event, it tells a whole bunch of drummers to all hit the drum at the exact same time. Bam! But each drummer has their own slightly different tempo, so they immediately start to drift apart. After just 1 second, their combined rhythm creates a very specific pattern. After 5 seconds, a totally different one. Your brain basically learns to recognize these unique rhythmic fingerprints and say, ah, that pattern, that feels like 5 seconds. And this is the key takeaway. Your brain is not a perfect digital stopwatch. It's a pattern recognition machine. And that means your sense of time isn't something you were born with. It's a skill your brain had to develop. It literally learns, through experience, what 1 second, 1 minute, or 1 hour feels like. And because it's a messy, biological process, it's not always right. In fact, this internal clock of ours is shockingly easy to trick. It can be stretched, it can be squeezed, creating all those strange moments where time just seems to warp. And you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? The old saying, a watched kettle never boils? That's literally true inside your brain. Paying close attention makes time feel longer. A moment of intense fear or joy can feel like it's happening in slow motion. And have you ever been so deep in a project that you look up and hours have vanished? That's your brain's clock in action, and it is beautifully and sometimes frustratingly subjective. But this subjectivity, this flexibility, it hints at something much, much deeper. Because if our whole sense of time is just this fragile biological construction, what happens when the machinery that builds it starts to fail? Take a look at these MRI scans. Those show brains affected by diseases like Alzheimer's and frontotemporal dementia. Those dark areas, that's where brain tissue has literally withered away. And the absolute tragedy is that the brain regions hit by these diseases are the very same structures our brain uses to tell time. When these areas are damaged, a person's entire reality can become unmoored, adrift in time. And this breakdown isn't the same for everyone. Different types of dementia create different kinds of temporal confusion. You can see here, someone with Alzheimer's might get completely lost in their own timeline, unable to sort past events. Someone with another variant might develop a compulsive obsession with clocks and schedules. And in some of the most heartbreaking cases of frontotemporal dementia, the wall between past and present can completely dissolve, causing people to relive past moments as if they're happening right now. This all brings us to the ultimate purpose of that clock in your head. Neuroscientists call it mental time travel. It's our incredible ability to revisit our past and memory and to project ourselves into the future. But this isn't just about daydreaming or planning a trip. It is the very thing that weaves all our separate moments into the coherent story of our life. It's what creates our sense of self. So, we've gone from the cosmic arrow of entropy that started with the Big Bang all the way down to the tiny oscillations of neurons inside our own brain. And what we found is that our perception of time is the thread that connects the person we were yesterday to the person we are today and the person we'll be tomorrow. And that leaves us with one final, deeply sobering question. Who are we when that thread breaks?